Hey everyone, JD here. Today we have the unboxing of the Syma X5SC-1, the upgraded version. So this would be the upgraded version of the last Syma that I did, which was the X5C1. Okay, so let's open her up. Let's have a little look inside. Right, got a bit of sellotape here. This is the first quadcopter in quite a while. It's actually been sellotaped shut. All the other ones I've had have been open. Okay, so let's open her up here. Wonder if it's the orange colour. Oh, that's obviously upside down. Okay, so let's just take out all these little bits here, as it's upside down anyway. There we go. Lovely. Right. So there we have it. Oh, there we are. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so extremely similar shape to the other Syma, the X5C1. This is obviously, don't forget, the X5SC. So when you first open it up, you're going to notice that the camera isn't plugged in, isn't attached. The landing sprigs aren't attached either. So quite literally, you just get the Syma quadcopter and all the little bits you're going to have to attach yourself. Unlike the last couple of quadcopters we've seen, the propellers are automatically attached on this particular one. So I'm going to start building her up. Let's see what we've got on the underside. On the underside we've got an on and off button, or on and off slider rather. We've got the standard 3-pin camera connector there. They seem to have sorted out the battery bay quite well. So whereas before you had to slide up and then pull down the little plastic lip on the inside, now use little trap door which is hinged. Inside there as well, let me see if I can just wiggle this one out a bit. Inside here also is the battery, which I think, yeah, there we are. So 3.7 volt, 500 milliamp hour. So actually less milliamp hour than the X5C1 and a slightly higher voltage. So all in all, I think the battery technology must have been updated slightly, because these two Symas, they do come quite far apart. So there we go. I'll put the battery back in, but I won't plug it into the little plug there, because I'm not going to turn it on. But just for you to see, there's a little cable on the inside of the quadcopter, and there's the cable on the battery. So let's just poke these away and we'll close that. I gotta say, this, just from the off, this trapdoor mechanism is much better than the sliding mechanism that we did have. It also feels a lot sturdier, and the trapdoor in itself has got two little screws that holds it in. So if you were to lose any of these screws, they'd be quite easily replaceable. One screw on the side there and another one on the opposite side. So there we have it. Other things to note about the quadcopter before we start to put it together: two green LEDs at the back and two orange LEDs at the front. Sorry, the other way around. Green, it looks like. We're going to have to definitely see. Oh no, I was right. We're going to have to definitely see when we take her out. But yes, the orange would be for the front, the green would be for the back. So it flies this sort of shape. A little bit confusing, that, because, I'll tell you why. Because if it is to fly this way, the Syma name is upside down. But if it flies that way, the battery bay is at the front. So this is confusing me for a couple of reasons, because normally a quadcopter would fly forward with the battery bay pointing backwards, but the name would be on the other way. Could just be a simple printing error, I don't know. But that does seem quite strange. So when we take her out, when we do the flight test, I will just double check that and make sure that she is flying the right way, and then obviously we'll get back and I'll update all the videos to let you know. Alright, so there we have it. So if I just move all this out of the way for a second, let's see what we've got. So we've got, obviously, because this was opened upside down, you saw that there were a couple of bags underneath it. So one of them being the propeller guards, pretty standard. Another one being 4 propellers. 4 propellers. as spares, because obviously the four are already attached to this quadcopter. Pretty standard as well as with what we've seen with the other quadcopters. This is the little USB charger, little battery charger, so standard 2-pin charger there, and standard USB, because obviously the battery itself is under 5 volts, so charging over USB will take about 45 to 50 minutes, but shouldn't have any problems in doing that. You get yourself a nice little Phillips screwdriver, and these are the 4 landing sprigs. Now these 4 are individual rather than the ones which are actually joined. So let's, without further ado, let's get these screwed in. So the screws are partially screwed into the landing sprigs when you get them. I don't know if you can see that there. And they would fit into these little holes here. So I'm going to put this one on first. So when you connect it, just double check you've got it on the right way. Yeah, there we go. So when you do connect it, this is the way that you're going to want the landing sprig to face. So you're going to want it to bow outwards. Okay, so for the second, I'm just going to place all 4. I'm not going to screw them in yet, not until all 4 are placed. So there we have it. All 4 are placed. So pretty much that is the finished result. Okay, so now just to make sure it's nice and sturdy for when we do take it for a flight, as always, make sure everything is screwed in properly. So 1 screw on each of these little sprigs, that will screw together quite nicely. Okay, that's the 2. Now moving on to the 3rd one, and now, oh there we go, and now moving on to the 4th. There we go, beautiful. So there we have it. This is quite simple and really quick to put together. Okay, so there we go, all 4 are nicely attached and solid. So from the front of it, that is what it would look like. So there we have it. Quite a nice, stylish looking quadcopter, I gotta say as well. Normally I do get either white or black quadcopters. This particular time, obviously, I don't remember ordering the orange one. It has been several months since I've ordered it and actually doing this review. But it's nice. It really is nice. It's nice and glossy. It's not a dull finish, as I'm sure you can see from the light there. It is a very glossy orange, almost really deep flame red. Okay, so there we have it. Now, standard Syma camera next. So on the underside you've got a little slider which will just slide into position where the battery cover on some of the other quadcopters is located. So only one way this can go in by the look of it, and that would be facing to the front of the quadcopter. So let's make sure you're not to get the cable stuck there, John. There we go. Oh, that was nice and simple. So as I'm sure you heard, when it plugs in, it just makes a very definite click. There's also a little button at the front here, a little release catch, that you can release the camera quite nice and easily. Very effective, fantastically engineered. It does seem as if for this particular release Syma have learned from their other quadcopters, and I'm sure a load of fans would have asked them to have put this feature in. So thank you, Syma, for definitely doing that. That's a fantastic feature, and one will make it so much easier. If you do damage your camera, no longer do you have to throw out the quadcopter. You just pull the camera off and plug the new one in. So there we have it. So I've just plugged it in now. As you can see, it's all connected. The 3-pin cable, 3-pin plug, sorry, is plugged in nice and secure. One thing I did notice is, as per all Symas, it comes with a nice little 4 gig SD card, which just slots into the back of the camera just to enable recording. Okay, so there we have it. One fully built Syma X5SC, yeah, that's right. There we go. So that is looking really nice. It's a really nice size quadcopter too. I mean, it's a little bit smaller, actually quite a bit smaller than the X5SC-1. This is more of a, well, sort of a mid-range copter, I would have said, whereas the other one is quite large in comparison. This feels a lot sturdier. It's got a lot of new features, like the removable camera, the easily removable camera rather, the new latch on the landing bay, and the motors are actually fully encased. They're still able to be taken apart if you do want to mod your quadcopter, and there's just a single screw at the top. But unlike the others where the cogs underneath are visible, these aren't. Again, fantastic. Really impressed with that, straight from the off. Okay, you get your obligatory instruction manual as well. So obviously as it goes, I won't be reading that. So no, always double check with the instruction manual, make sure you've got everything plugged in correctly, and make sure you adhere to the guidelines. So we've gone through the charger. You also get a little SD card reader for taking the videos off your SD card and put them onto your computer. So there we have it, nice. So let's just put all these away. So the screwdriver, charger and the SD card reader goes into there. May as well leave those there for the time being. Okay, so let's get on to the controller. Okay, so your pretty standard controller. Now this is very familiar, this is, because this particular controller is the same as one of the other ones that I did not so long ago, where it had the 4 fake buttons and fake wheel here. Well, it's got exactly the same. All these buttons down here are fake. You have your standard telemetry screen, you have your video and photo buttons on the top, you have your standard directional stick. Oh, that actually feels a little bit sturdier than other releases, so I think they may have sorted out that stick as well, rather than it just being quite free to move wherever. It's got a definite push back, not when it goes down because this hasn't got altitude hold, but especially when it goes left to right. It definitely does have its own upgraded release there. And then likewise your your directional stick and your accelerator and decelerator. The directional stick feels pretty much standard. I don't think much has been done there. And then you have your trim buttons. 4 trim buttons for if the copter is flying in the wrong way, or when you hover it, if it isn't steady and just swaying with the wind slightly or with the breeze, if it starts to pull forward, pull back, left or right too much, then you can adjust them using the trim buttons here. Standard on and off button, little LED for when you know that the transmitter has been turned on, and also when you've bound the transmitter to the quadcopter, this particular light, if it's like the others, should stay solid. So there we have it. That is, yeah, likewise with a lot of the other, apart from one transmitter that I've done a review of, this particular one, battery casing, does not come with any rechargeable ports in it whatsoever. So once again, you can use rechargeable batteries, but you will have to use a third-party charger to charge up your batteries before every flight. But it's standard 4 AA's. So yeah, that's pretty much it about the transmitter, to be honest. So I'm pretty much hoping that this Syma is going to be able to do as much as all the other Symas that I've tried. So you'll have pretty much your stunts. It'll move pretty much the same, I'm hoping, even though the last one was extremely stable. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out on my video feed. I'm hoping this one is going to be even more stable as well, so every time that they're bringing out a new product, it does seem from the last 2 that they are slowly upgrading them and slowly making them much better. Okay, so there we have it, guys. So this has been the unboxing of the Syma X5SC. There we have it. So please join me in a couple of days when I will be taking this out, and we'll be doing a field test and a nice flight, and then obviously we can see exactly how it does in the field, literally. So once again, guys, thanks very much for watching, and if you've got any questions, leave them in the comments field. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Please subscribe and please like this video. Thanks very much indeed. Take care of yourself.